I've got a problem. I've just been for a little walk and I tried to drag little Honey Jane and she said no. And I've come home and now she's looking at me so pathetically with those little puppy eyes and making a little noise going, Mummy, what about me? Well, Mummy tried to take you out today, child, and you said no. So this is what happens, isn't it, when little girls refuse to go for a walk? Now come home and now puppy girl is depressed, like, Mummy, what about me? Right, this vlog is a moan. Right, so the reason I'm doing this is because I was supposed to be doing a come buy my book vlog, and yet again this is the third time that the book has come back like this. Now you won't be able to tell just by looking at that what's wrong with it, but it is too washed out, and what's happened is no matter what we do with the pixels and everything, the book is just not showing up the photograph that's behind the images, and so it's just too washed out. The problem with the book, this one is an author's copy, which means it's not up for sale or anything, but you've got to wait 2 weeks for them to come through, and you don't know what they look like until they come through. So there's no point putting it out on the market until you've seen the book and seen that the text is fine and the cover and everything else. And if it's not, then you've got a chance to tweak it. So I was supposed to have released the book in February, and it's now gone, it's going into April, and it's really winding me up because at work, what they're doing now in April when we open up, everybody's on 5 on, 2 off, so it's like constantly changing sort of thing. But the thing is, when I'm working 5 days a week and I've got the dogs as well and all my other jobs, I don't have time to write during the season. So this is more of a winter project, and it's really frustrating me. So I've spent yesterday another 10 hours trying to do my own book cover, and it's still not coming out right, and it's getting to a point of total frustration. So now it's like, do I settle for just a plain book cover with just the title on and just a generic background like a red mottle effect or something like that, or do I just delay it and just keep trying and trying and trying? But the thing is, you end up running out of steam because we don't have all the skills, and I've already paid money to get it to this point, and I really do not want to keep ploughing money into something that just keeps coming back just not good enough. Another frustrating thing, I joined a writers club, which is brilliant, and it's full of authors, and you learn a lot of things from them because some have been writing for many years and they've been selling books and everything. And I asked work if I could have Tuesdays off all season so I could carry on doing the writers club, and they went out of their way to say yes, that's fine. And then yesterday they decided that it's going to be Wednesdays now. So I can't go and muck work about and say, oh, can I change the days? So I've had to send a text to the organiser and say I can't do this anymore, I can only do Tuesdays. And he said, well, on Wednesday we're going to have another meeting about another day. And I'm like, I can't. Most of them are retired, so they've got time to play around and change things, and but when you're working, you can't keep dropping shifts at work and swapping things around with other people so you can go to a meeting. So I think that's going to be the end of that one. So that is the frustration of my book, child. And I was so excited to get it out because it's a great story, and I really want to plug this and do well with it. And if you saw that on a bookcase, you wouldn't even look, you'd be like, what is that? Even my eyesight is trying to figure out what that is, and it's just utterly, it's made me feel dejected. However, I don't know if you can see the font inside, but I've changed the font to 11 point, and I think I've got it on Times New or Normal or something like that. But I was wondering whether the font would be too small, and it's not. So by changing the font to 11 point, the book went down to 298 pages. Whereas when I did the initial one on the 12 point, it was on 319 pages or something, which cost more for printing. So the smaller the book, the cheaper the print is. But I think the printing costs now on these are £3.19 or £3.28. You sell them for £9.99 and you get £2 per book. So £2.18 I think you get per book. But if you buy it on Kindle, I get £1.18 or £1.38 I think it is. So it's there, it's written, it's done, and I wanted to get on with the next book, but that's going to be a winter project, and the next book will be a follow-on from this one. So I think it's going to end up being a series, but I really did not want to work 5 days a week. I wanted part-time, but I didn't get offered part-time. So unfortunately, I'm feeling a bit, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. It's just dejected more than anything, because it's one thing writing a book, it's another one editing, formatting, book covers and all the rest of it. They're usually the jobs of a few people, so you're learning multiple skills. But if I do something and it's just blatantly wrong, it just winds me up. And I won't give up until I've done it, but it's making me feel more and more cheesed off. So, and my eyes are hurting because I've been on computer for like 12 hours a day trying to fix stuff. And how many times I've edited this book. But there you go. I thought I'd just do a quick one on this, just on my book morning. If anybody has written a book, what did you do about the book covers? Because I'm in a book club online, and there's a lot of arguing in there, and people saying things like, if I see you've got an AI cover or anything, I'm not going to buy the book at all. So I'm trying not to touch AI. So I'm looking for copyright-free images that I can use that are not AI. But it's very difficult because the pixelations on photographs are different to like drawings and things like that. And you've got to get the right amount of pixels and DPIs and all this stuff, and it does my head in this because it's not my forte. So looking for the right place, which is not AI, is very difficult, because what I've been told is I need to go to places like Canva, and I go to Canva, and a lot of that is AI. In fact, AI now is leached into pretty much everything, and you can't get away from it. And I did an AI film trailer just for the laugh to see what it's like, and I really liked it. I liked the AI. But again, you get a lot of backlash from this, because people get angry and go, you shouldn't be using things like that because you're taking jobs away from people. So it's really frustrating trying to do everything from scratch without the ability. Because doing book covers, that's somebody's job. Somebody does that, an illustrator does that. But I can't afford to keep throwing money at things all the time. And not only that, when you start employing other people, you're at the mercy of their timeline, and they decide when it's ready, and then they'll get an idea in their head of what this thing should look like, and it's not quite what you like, and then you have to settle for something you don't quite love. And that's frustrating to me, because in my head I can see what I want it to look like, but you can't do it without AI, or pay hundreds. And what for a book that, how many copies will I sell? Do you know, when it comes to selling books, 90% of authors never sell more than 100 copies. 90%. The market is saturated, and you have got to try and stand out amongst hundreds of thousands of authors worldwide, and you've got to have a niche because there's a lot of generic books. And so I've made mine as niche as I can because I've put conspiracy theories in with paranormal stuff and otherworldly and thrown them all together into a novel. But people like me would see through that and go, oh, but you can actually do stuff like that. And I really wanted my book to get out today. I was desperate for it to come out before, and I'm like, please come on. So I'm just going to spend another 10 hours today trying to do this again, and I'll just keep going. But I've literally got 2 weeks and that's it. If I don't succeed in 2 weeks, I can't do this till November because I will not have time. I've got all my foraging, my gardening, full-time work, 2 dogs, queuing up for the laundrette with 200 people when there's only 3 machines, and all the rest of it. So when you live in a van, you can't just turn on the tap, you've got to collect your water. And you try and collect water on a park like this when it's open. Because I'm telling you, even going to the toilet and emptying the toilet, you will always get stopped for a chat. And I do like the people here, they are lovely. But you've got to add time onto every little thing. So if you think you can just go to the shower block and back in like 20 minutes, you can forget that. Because when this block is open, there's always someone up for a chinwag, and you try and get to the shower block without getting seen and stuff like that. So I will not have time for the book for 7 months. So I need to get this done today, tomorrow, or I just don't know what I'm going to do. But yet again, you can see the back. I've done the blurb on the back. I put a photograph on, and I've changed the name of the book to The Dark Sky. I was going to call it There's a Dark Cloud Hanging Over Halifax, but again, in my group, everyone's going, it's too long for a title, you want to simplify it and all the rest. So I listened to them. But the problem is, when you do a book, you've got to have something on the front that shows people what it actually is. The Dark Sky sounds like it's quite ominous, a bit dark, on the darker side, but what genre is it? So you need to show that on the picture. So if anyone's got any ideas, mind you, by the time I've done this, I'll have probably been sat there for 10 hours and I'll be like, so I might just end up doing something plain. And then what I'm going to do when I finally get this done is get some leaflets and some bookmarks and pay for them, and then put them in the down in the bottom block. We've got a tourist information part, and people come in and put their business cards in there and flyers for boat trips and things like that. So I'm just going to put my stuff down in there, and hopefully people will pick them up and buy my book. Right, I'm going to go because I've got 2 little puppies who know they're getting a Sunday dinner today. We're going to be having roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. Well, they are, because I don't eat meat. In fact, do you know something? These dogs eat more than me when it comes to food, because I have to buy chicken, ham, beef, sausages, all these things for these puppies. And what does Mummy have? Just veg? Yes. Right, I'm going to go now, but I will be back on in a while with another subject. I will try not to moan this time, honey girl.